9 years. That's how long it took for me to lose everybody in my family that I loved. My mom, my dad, my siblings, sister, brother. One by one, they're all gone. So when the phone rings, it's not going to be any of my family members, my immediate family members. They're all gone. And for a long time, I really didn't think I was going to survive that. I was so alone. It was like I was the only one left. And so this isn't just a story about loss. It's actually a story about what happens afterwards when you lose everybody in your family in a short amount of time. Like I said, you don't have the phone that rings and it's like, hey mom, how you doing? We used to talk, my mom and I used to talk every day. Every day. Sometimes good talks, sometimes not so good talks. But I loved her and I loved talking with her. And she passed away at 76. Back in 06. And then my dad, he passed away just before that. And then my stepdad passed away a year after my mom. And then I think the biggest shock for me was when my sister passed away. My only sister. I had talked to her that Friday. And just like normal, every day talking, laughing, going on. She was 6 years older than myself. And so we just talked and had a great time. And she went to church Sunday. Was supposed to go pick up her daughter and son-in-law back from the airport. And she never made it. She came home from church and she must have just dropped of a massive heart attack. I think she was 66, 67. I got the call. I'll never forget it. I think that was almost harder in some way than losing my mom. Losing my mom was tough. But losing my sister, wow. That was rough. It still is rough, and she's been gone 6 years. It's still rough. It can, yeah. Because there's so many things that have happened since she's been gone. She, right after she passed away, because I knew she was never going to be a grandma, and she always, right after she passed away, every one of my boys got married year after year after year, all 3 of them. And she wasn't around to see that, and she definitely was not around to see me become a grandma. She would have loved that. She would have loved every ounce of that. But she is gone. And so that's been a rough go for me. My brother, he passed away from cancer, actually before my sister. That was hard. I believe he was 49. That was rough because I loved talking with him, because anytime I wanted to have a funny conversation, I would call him, and he always made me laugh. I mean, he was so much fun to be around. Yeah. So the thing is, and I know we do lose people in our lives that we love. It's inevitable. But dealing with all of that in a small, compact, less than 10 years was really, really rough for me. I was so lonely by losing everyone. It seemed like, in my mind, it seemed like year after year after year. And it was difficult. I went through a lot of depression and sadness and loneliness that I didn't know, because I think what really jolted me was I went to a funeral last year. I went to a funeral last year of one of my cousins. And as I'm looking at all my family members after, we had a lunch, in the church, and I'm looking at all my family members, cousins, aunts, uncles, and they're all clumped together as families. It just happens to be that way. People are just like that. They just hang with their families, even though we're all, close and we all know each other, obviously. You just sit with your sisters, brothers, whatever. So, and it just really dawned on me that it's like, I'm sitting with, who am I going to sit with? My family is completely gone. And that really hit home quite a bit last year. And I thought, wow, I have no one. Of course, I sit with, my cousin, my close cousins and that, but it's like, I have nobody. And I thought, and I didn't realize that. It didn't hit home until last year when I'm sitting there looking around. It's like, okay, I don't have my sister, my mom, my brothers, my dad, nobody but myself. That's an eye-opener. It really is an eye-opener. So I thank God that I had children. And I tell my sons this all the time, that I said, if I did not have you boys, I would have nobody. I would have nobody. And they are my family. They're my sons, my wonderful daughter-in-laws, my grandchildren. They are my world. And they are my life. And so if I never had them, it'd be pretty lonely. For me, it would be. Some people are fine with that, but that would be very lonely for me. So anyways, I just, and I know everybody goes through this, maybe not in that short of a span of 9 years of losing everyone. Yeah. You have to get a lot of strength and get through a lot of tears. But, and the holidays are sad too. The holidays, and I love the holidays. I love Christmas. I love Christmas. And I love having it with my grandchildren. But I still miss the times when we'd all get together as a big family. Mom, dad, sisters, brothers, their kids. It's no more. So anyways, I just wanted to share a little bit of that, of my life, of what I have dealt with as far as the loneliness and not having any siblings around anymore. But I'm doing good. I have my grandkids. I have my children. And that is a blessing. And I am so thankful. So hopefully whoever is going through this, I feel you. I'm with you. Because I think a lot of us have gone through it. So, and we do survive. We will survive, we do survive. And we get stronger with it. So, until next time, have a great day. Bye now.